you will welcome everyone. You begin with a short meditation. Sit back comfortably. As I sit in stillness, I breathe in the warmth of divine love. I feel God's presence filling my heart with compassion, kindness, and acceptance. With each breath, I let go of doubts, fears, and worries, trusting in the infinite goodness that surrounds me. I imagine God's love as a radiant, illuminating light, guiding me through life's challenges. Love reminds me of my worth, value, and goodness. I feel seen, heard, and loved exactly as I am. In this divine love, I cultivate gratitude, forgiveness, and self. I recognize the interconnectedness of all beings, bound together by love and compassion. In this sacred space, I find peace and a deep sense of belonging. God's love is my guiding force. I trust in His power to heal, transform. May this love radiate from my heart, touching the lives of those around me, spreading kindness, compassion, and peace. Okay, thank you so much. I hope my voice was clear and audible.
Yes, sister, you are audible.
All right, thank you so much, sister. Okay, so we'll begin with today's session. I'll just share the screen with you. All right, so yesterday we read that, he finally met the alchemist, Santiago, and, the alchemist is guiding him. Okay, and he got 50 pieces of gold from the Oasis chief for telling them in advance about the war. Okay, so now we'll continue. Okay. They dismounted and the alchemist said nothing. Advancing slowly, they searched among the stones. The alchemist stopped abruptly and bent to the ground. There was a hole there among the stones. The alchemist put his hand into the hole and then his entire arm up to his shoulder. Something was moving there, and the alchemist's eyes, the boy could see only his eyes, squinted with his effort. His arm seemed to be battling with whatever was in the hole. Then, with a motion that startled the boy, he withdrew his arm and leaped to his feet. In his hand, he grasped a snake by the tail. The boy leaped as well, but away from the alchemist. The snake fought frantically, making hissing sounds that shattered the silence of the desert. It was a cobra whose venom could kill a person in minutes. तो होल में से क्या निकला? एक cobra snake. Watch out for his venom, the boy said. But even though the alchemist had put his hand in the hole and had surely already been bitten, his expression was calm. The alchemist is 200 years old, the Englishman had told him. He must know how to deal with the snakes of the desert. The boy watched as his companion went to his horse and withdrew a scimitar. With its blade, he drew a circle in the sand and then he placed the snake within it. The serpent relaxed immediately. Not to worry, said the alchemist. He won't leave the circle. You found life in the desert, the omen I needed. Why was that so important? Because the pyramids are surrounded by the desert. The boy didn't want to talk about the pyramids. His heart was heavy and he had been melancholy since the previous night. To continue his search for the treasure meant that he had to abandon Fatima. I'm going to guide you across the desert, the alchemist said. I want to stay at the oasis, the boy answered. I found Fatima, and as far as I'm concerned, she's worth more than treasure. तो अभी जो सैंटियागो है उसको इंटरेस्ट नहीं रहा ट्रेजर में because he's fallen in love with this girl Fatima and he wants to be with her. So abhi he's not interested in the pyramids or the treasure. Fatima is a woman of the desert, said the alchemist. She knows that men have to go away in order to return. And she already has her treasure. It's you. Now she expects that you will find what it is you're looking for. Well, what if I decide to stay? Let me tell you what will happen. You'll be the counselor of the oasis. You have enough gold to buy many sheep and many camels. You'll marry Fatima and you'll both be happy for a year. You'll learn to love the desert and you'll get to know every one of the 50,000 palms. You'll watch them as they grow, demonstrating how the world is always changing. And you'll get better at understanding omens because the desert is the best teacher there is. Sometime during the second year, you'll remember about the treasure. The omens will begin insistently to speak of it, and you'll try to ignore them. You'll use your knowledge for the welfare of the oasis and its inhabitants. The tribal chieftains will appreciate what you do, and your camels will bring you wealth and power. During the third year, the omens will continue to speak of your treasure and your personal legend. You'll walk around night after night at the oasis, and Fatima will be unhappy because she'll feel it was she who interrupted your quest. But you will love her, and she'll return your love. You'll remember that she never asked you to stay, because a woman of the desert knows that she must await her man. So you won't blame her. But many times you'll walk the sands of the desert thinking that maybe you could have left, that you could have trusted more in your love for Fatima. Because what kept you at the oasis was your own fear that you might never come back. At that point, the omens will tell you that your treasure is buried forever. तो यहाँ पे वो ना उसकी सारी लाइफ स्टोरी बता रहा है कि ठीक है आप ट्रेजर के पीछे नहीं जाओगे, आप फातिमा के साथ you'll get married and all. Then after a couple of years you'll start feeling, you'll start getting all these omens about the treasure. So then what you'll do? तो ऐसे ना उसको सारा बता रहा है सिनारियो कि क्या होने वाला है आगे. Then sometime during the fourth year the omens will abandon you because you've stopped listening to them. The tribal chieftains will see that, and you will be dismissed from your position as counselor. But by then, you will be a rich merchant with many camels and a great deal of merchandise. You'll spend the rest of your days knowing that you didn't pursue your personal legend and that now it's too late. You must understand that love never keeps a man from pursuing his personal legend. If he abandons that pursuit, it's because it wasn't true love, the love that speaks the language of the world. तो उसको समझाता है कि अगर फोर्थ ईयर में क्या होगा, वो ओमेन्स विल अबैंडन यू, वो गाइडेंस मिलनी बंद हो जाएगी बिकॉज यू आर नॉट लिसनिंग टू इट. फिर क्या होगा, द you'll become a rich merchant bought with a lot of camels and all. But you'll keep repenting that you didn't pursue your personal legend and it is too late. तो उसको समझाता है कि true love, never, prevents you from pursuing what you want. No, it doesn't prevent you from going for your personal legend. अगर वो true love है तो. The alchemist erased the circle in the sand, and the snake slithered away among the rocks. The boy remembered the crystal merchant who had always wanted to go to Mecca and the Englishman in search of the alchemist. He thought of the woman who had trusted in the desert, and he looked out over the desert that had brought him to the woman he loved. They mounted their horses, and this time it was the boy who followed the alchemist back to the oasis. The wind brought the sounds of the oasis to them, and the boy tried to hear Fatima's voice. But that night, as he watched the cobra within the circle, the strange horseman with the falcon on his shoulder had spoken of love and treasure, of the women of the desert, and of his personal legend. I'm going with you, the boy said, and he immediately felt peace in his heart. We'll leave tomorrow before sunrise, was the alchemist's only response. The boy spent a sleepless night. 2 hours before dawn, he awoke one of the boys who slept in his tent and asked him to show him where Fatima lived. They went to her tent, and the boy gave his friend enough gold to buy a sheep. Then he asked his friend to go into the tent where Fatima was sleeping and to awaken her and tell her that he was waiting outside. The young Arab did as he was asked and was given enough gold to buy yet another sheep. तो क्या करता है वो, उसको फातिमा से मिलना होता है. He goes with a friend and he asks her to call her because he wants to meet her. Now leave us alone, said the boy to the young Arab. The young Arab returned to his tent to sleep, proud to have helped the counselor of the oasis and happy at having enough money to buy himself some sheep. Fatima appeared at the entrance to the tent. The two walked out among the palms. The boy knew that it was a violation of the tradition, but that didn't matter to him now. I'm going away, he said. and I want you to know that I'm coming back. I love you because. Don't say anything, Fatima interrupted. One is loved because one is loved. No reason is needed for loving. But the boy continued. I had a dream and I met with a king. I sold crystal and crossed the desert. And because the tribes declared war, I went to the well seeking the alchemist. So I love you because the entire universe conspired to help me find you. The two embraced. It was the first time either had touched the other. I'll be back, the boy said. Before this, I always looked at the desert with longing, said Fatima. Now it will be with hope. My father went away one day, but he returned to my mother, and he has always come back since then. They said nothing else. They walked a bit farther among the palms. Then the boy left her at the entrance to her tent. I'll return just as your father came back to your mother, he said. He saw that Fatima's eyes were filled with tears. You're crying? I'm a woman of the desert, she said, averting her face. But above all, I'm a woman. Fatima went back to her tent, and when daylight came, she went out to do the chores she had done for years. But everything had changed. The boy was no longer at the oasis, and the oasis would never again have the same meaning it had had only yesterday. It would no longer be a place with 50,000 palm trees and 300 wells, where the pilgrims arrived, relieved at the end of their long journeys. From that day on, the oasis would be an empty place for her. From that day on, it was the desert that would be important. She would look to it every day and would try to guess which star the boy was following in search of his treasure. She would have to send her kisses on the wind, hoping that the wind would touch the boy's face and would tell him that she was alive, that she was waiting for him, a woman awaiting a courageous man in search of his treasure. From that day on, the desert would represent only one thing to her, the hope for his return. So finally, he decides to go for his treasure and he meets Fatima and he tells her that he's going. तो अब उसके पास वो एक hope है कि he will return. Don't think about what you've left behind, the alchemist said to the boy as they began to ride across the sands of the desert. Everything is written in the soul of the world, and there it will stay forever. Men dream more about coming home than about leaving, the boy said. He was already reaccustomed to the desert silence. If what one finds is made of pure water, it will never spoil, and one can always come back. If what you had found was only a moment of light, like the explosion of a star, you would find nothing on your return. The man was speaking the language of alchemy, but the boy knew that he was referring to Fatima. मतलब alchemist समझाने की कोशिश करता है कि अगर आपका relationship इतना pure है, just like water, it is pure. So it will always come back. It won't go anywhere. मतलब you will never lose that relation, that person. But if it just was a moment, अगर like जैसे वो कहता है explosion of a star, just a moment of light, then you won't find it when you return. It was difficult not to think about what he had left behind. The desert, with its endless monotony, put him to dreaming. The boy could still see the palm trees, the wells, and the face of the woman he loved. He could see the Englishman at his experiments and the camel driver, who was a teacher without realizing it. Maybe the alchemist has never been in love, the boy thought. The alchemist rode in front with the falcon on his shoulder. The bird knew the language of the desert well, and whenever they stopped, he flew off in search of game. On the first day, he returned with a rabbit, and on the second, with two birds. At night, they spread their sleeping gear and kept their fires hidden. The desert nights were cold and were becoming darker and darker as the phases of the moon passed. They went on for a week, speaking only of the precautions they needed to follow in order to avoid the battles between the tribes. The war continued, and at times the wind carried the sweet, sickly smell of blood. Battles had been fought nearby, and the wind reminded the boy that there was the language of omens always ready to show him what his eyes had failed to observe. On the seventh day, the alchemist decided to make camp earlier than usual. The falcon flew off to find game, and the alchemist offered his water container to the boy. You are almost at the end of your journey, said the alchemist. I congratulate you for having pursued your personal legend. And you've told me nothing along the way, said the boy. I thought you were going to teach me some of the things you know. A while ago, I rode through the desert with a man who had books on alchemy, but I wasn't able to learn anything from them. There is only one way to learn, the alchemist answered. It's through action. Everything you need to know, you have learned through your journey. You need to learn only one thing more. The boy wanted to know what that was, but the alchemist was searching the horizon looking for the fact. तो जो अल्केमिस्ट है वो सैंटियागो को अप्रिशिएट करता है, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट करता है कि ही वेंट फॉर हिज ही परस्यूड हिज पर्सनल लेजेंड. तो जो सैंटियागो है वो कहता है कि मुझे लगा यू विल टीच मी थिंग्स ऑन द वे, यू नो कि बट कहता है आपने तो मुझे और कुछ सिखाया ही नहीं. तो अल्केमिस्ट कहता है देयर इज ओनली वन वे टू लर्न, and that is through your journey. जब आप when you it's only through action. You can only learn through action, not by uh, you know him giving him advice and all. But when he's going through the journey, he will learn. Why are you called the alchemist? Because that's what I am. And what went wrong when other alchemists tried to make gold and were unable to do so? They were looking only for gold, his companion answered. They were seeking the treasure of their personal legend without actually wanting to live out the personal legend. What is it that I still need to know? The boy asked. But the alchemist continued to look to the horizon. And finally, the falcon returned with their meal. They dug a hole and lit their fire in it so that the light of the flames would not be seen. I'm an alchemist simply because I'm an alchemist, he said, as he prepared the meal. I learned the science from my grandfather, who learned from his father, and so on back to the creation of the world. In those times, the masterwork could be written simply on an emerald. But men began to reject simple things and to write tracts, interpretations, and philosophical studies. They also began to feel that they knew a better way than others had. Yet the emerald tablet is still alive today. What was written on the emerald tablet? The boy wanted to know. The alchemist began to draw in the sand and completed his drawings in less than 5 minutes. As he drew, the boy thought of the old king and the plaza where they had met that day. It seemed as if it had taken place years and years ago. It seemed as if it had taken place years and years ago. This was what was written on the emerald tablet, said the alchemist when he had finished. The boy tried to read what was written in the sand. It's a code, said the boy, a bit disappointed. It looks like what I saw in the Englishman's book. No, the alchemist answered. It's like the flight of those two hawks. It can't be understood by reason alone. The Emerald Tablet is a direct passage to the soul of the world. The wise men understood that this natural world is only an image and a copy of paradise. The existence of this world is simply a guarantee that there exists a world that is perfect. God created the world so that through its visible objects, men could understand his spiritual teachings and the marvels of his wisdom. That's what I mean by action. Should I understand the emerald tablet? The boy asked. Perhaps if you were in a laboratory of alchemy, this would be the right time to study the best way to understand the emerald tablet. But you are in the desert, so immerse yourself in it. The desert will give you an understanding of the world. In fact, anything on the face of the earth will do that. You don't even have to understand the desert. All you have to do is contemplate a simple grain of sand, and you will see in it all the marvels of creation. How do I immerse myself in the desert? Listen to your heart, it knows all things, because it came from the soul of the world, and it will one day return there. They crossed the desert for another 2 days in silence. The alchemists had become much more cautious because they were approaching the area where the most violent battles were being waged. As they moved along, the boy tried to listen to his heart. It was not easy to do. In earlier times, his heart had always been ready to tell its story, but lately that wasn't true. There had been times when his heart spent hours telling of its sadness, and at other times it became so emotional over the desert sunrise that the boy had to hide his tears. His heart beat fastest when it spoke to the boy of treasure, and more slowly when the boy stared entranced at the endless horizons of the desert. But his heart was never quiet, even when the boy and the alchemist had fallen into silence. Why do we have to listen to our hearts? The boy asked, when they had made camp that day. Because wherever your heart is, that is where you'll find your treasure. But my heart is agitated, the boy said. It has its dreams, it gets emotional and becomes passionate, and it's become passionate over a woman of the desert. It asks things of me, and it keeps me from sleeping many nights when I'm thinking about her. Well, that's good. Your heart is alive. Keep listening to what it has to say. वो ना alchemist उसको encourage कर रहा है कि always listen to your heart. Follow your heart, and it will lead you to the places you have to be. During the next 3 days, the two travelers passed by a number of armed tribesmen and saw others on the horizon. The boy's heart began to speak of fear. It told him stories it had heard from the soul of the world, stories of men who sought to find their treasure and never succeeded. Sometimes it frightened the boy with the idea that he might not find his treasure or that he might die there in the desert. At other times, it told the boy that it was satisfied. It had found love and riches. My heart is a traitor, the boy said to the alchemist when they had paused to rest the horses. It doesn't want me to go on. That makes sense, the alchemist answered. Naturally, it's afraid that in pursuing your dream, you might lose everything you want. Well, then, why should I listen to my heart? Because you will never again be able to keep it quiet. Even if you pretend not to have heard what it tells you, it will always be there inside you, repeating to you what you're thinking about life and about the world. You mean I should listen even if it's treasonous? Treason is a blow that comes unexpectedly. If you know your heart well, it will never be able to do that to you because you'll know its dreams and its wishes and will know how to deal with them. You will never be able to escape from your heart. So it's better to listen to what it has to say. That way, you'll never have to fear an unanticipated blow. यहाँ पे बहुत ब्यूटिफुली वो उसको समझा रहा है कि आप अपने दिल की बातों से भाग नहीं सकते. यू कांट एस्केप फ्रॉम इट. तो यू हैव टू ऑलवेज acknowledge what your heart is telling you. मतलब where your heart is leading you to. जो भी ड्रीम्स है विशेस है उसको एक्नॉलेज करना है एंड फिर उसके साथ कैसे डील करना है दैट यू हैव टू वर्क आउट. The boy continued to listen to his heart as they crossed the desert. He came to understand its dodges and tricks and to accept it as it was. He lost his fear and forgot about his need to go back to the oasis because one afternoon his heart told him that it was happy. Even though I complain sometimes, it said, it's because I'm the heart of a person, and people's hearts are that way. People are afraid to pursue their most important dreams because they feel that they don't deserve them or that they'll be unable to achieve them. Their hearts become fearful just thinking of loved ones who go away forever or of moments that could have been good but weren't, or of treasures that might have been found but were forever hidden in the sand. Because when these things happen, we suffer terribly. My heart is afraid that it will have to suffer, the boy told the alchemist one night as they looked up at the moonless sky. Tell your heart that fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself. See, this is also a very important line. Ki the fear of suffering is worse. जो भी fear है, that makes it more worse than the actual suffering. And that no heart has ever suffered what it goes in when it goes in search of its dreams, because every second of the search is a second's encounter with God and with eternity. Wow. तो कहते हैं अपने दिल को प्यार से समझाओ कि whenever it goes in search of its dreams, God is with you. So there will be no suffering. Every second of the search is an encounter with God, the boy told his heart. When I have been truly searching for my treasure, every day has been luminous because I've known that every hour was part of the dream that I would find it. When I have been truly searching for my treasure, I've discovered things along the way that I never would have seen had I not had the courage to try things that seemed impossible for a shepherd to achieve. So his heart was quiet for an entire afternoon. That night, the boy slept deeply, and when he awoke, his heart began to tell him things that came from the soul of the world. It said that all people are happy who are happy, have God within them, and that happiness could be found in a grain of sand from the desert, as the alchemist had said. Because a grain of sand is a moment of creation, and the universe has taken millions of years to create it. Everyone on earth has a treasure that awaits him, his heart said. We people's hearts seldom say much about those treasures because people no longer want to go in search of them. We speak of them only to children. Later, we simply let life proceed in its own direction towards its own fate. But unfortunately, very few follow the path laid out for them, the path to their personal legends and to happiness. Most people see the world as a threatening place, and because they do, the world turns out indeed to be a threatening place. तो कहता है कि बहुत कम everyone on the earth has a treasure मतलब everyone is seeking for something is seeking their personal legend that treasure that they want but very few people बहुत कम ऐसे लोग हैं जिनमें वो courage है to go in search of the treasure to acknowledge it you know, because बहुत सारे लोग just feel that the world is a threatening place कि वो नहीं जा पाएंगे वो अपना वो treasure वो नहीं ढूंढ पाएंगे अपनी जो उनकी calling है they won't be able to seek that they won't be able to find it so that's why they lose hope but actually everyone is seeking something so we their hearts speak more and more soft. We never stop speaking out, but we begin to hope that our words won't be heard. We don't want people to suffer because they don't follow their hearts. Why don't people's hearts tell them to continue to follow their dreams? The boy asked the alchemist. Because what makes a heart suffer most? And hearts, because that's what makes heart suffer most, and hearts don't like to suffer. Okay, so we'll continue from here tomorrow. From then on, the boy understood his heart. Okay, so thank you so much for joining today's session. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you.